Good morning, everyone. Yes, I have a head bandana, well, a chunk of shirt on my head, and it's because it's gonna be hot again today, and in this suit is so hot, so hot. I got this on so I'm not getting sweat in my eyes, because when you have the net on your head, it's super hard to get the sweat out of your eyes. So, today, I got my other tools back there ready. Is the inspection day, and I've only had the Saskatraz bees for a little while, but how fast they're taking syrup, I'm really curious in what they're doing in there and how well they're doing. So I'm really excited to take that one apart today. And I know I have a viewer that is also looking at Saskatraz bees, so they are also curious on how well they're doing. If you guys are wondering what I use for in my smoker, I just get it lit like this a little bit, let it burn for a while, and then I just add more wood chips. All I use is wood chips. I already have them because of the chickens, and the bag was $5. So, and it works. So after I got it going, I put another layer on there, and I just puff it. Look at that. Is that spooky? Ooh. Alright. Enough messing around. Showtime. It's early in the morning, but it's really good lighting. So I'm just going to smoke them a little bit. But after we had them for a day, I was actually kind of concerned because I thought that they were a little too aggressive, and turns out they're not. So that's a really good thing. Sugar syrup is gone again. Okay, so they're not putting anything in here yet, but you can see around the sides up here, they glued all this better comb to the frame already, which is awesome. Boy, they're way more aggressive than the other ones. I've got stung 3 times already in this hand. So I still have bees following me, so I'm gonna leave this on. Saskatraz bees are doing good. They sealed off all around the comb, which is really good. So that's why they're going through all the syrup. They stored some of it, but there's only 1 frame of eggs. So, and there was 2 of their original frames that were empty, like they've hatched bees, but she didn't lay in them again. And I did not find the queen. Got a drink of water. And let's go check the other 2. I know why they're probably more aggressive too, is because they're all at home. It's early in the morning right now, so it's like, well, it's not that early, I guess. I think it's almost 8. But if I would have waited until noon, they'd be all foragers would be gone. And I'm contemplating on coming back in around noon, 1 o'clock, and just sitting in this sauna out here. But to see if I can really find that queen, because I did find a frame that had eggs, but I couldn't tell if the eggs are on the side. And if the eggs are on the side or touching the side wall, that means you have a worker laying, and you don't want that. So I mean, I would think it came with a queen. It should, you know, but you never know nowadays. So I just want to make sure. So let's crack into the other ones. Wow, they took all this sugar syrup down too. Now if you remember, the box you're sitting on is the one I brought the brood up to the top. Well, I brought one frame up and I didn't on this one, so I'm curious on how they built on this one, and then we'll bring one up if they're not doing that good. So they didn't do nothing with that one. Some propolis, num num num. Okay, so they started a little bit there. You see that? Look at that. So they got pollen and some syrup in this one. I'm gonna just start on that side. Okay, so that's amazing. Can you see that? You see the eggs? And then there's larvae. Okay, so this side's all nectar. And then the little bit of comb that they drew out here, they got eggs in it. So what I'm gonna do though is checkerboard up here to make them use all of this. Okay, so I know she's in here laying, but I want to check a couple of frames to make sure she's not building any swarm cups or anything. She shouldn't, because they have plenty of room. So we'll just take a sneak peek quick, and then we're gonna have to add syrup to all of them, I'm thinking. Okay, so this is the outside one, and they're putting a bunch of nectar in it. Oh, this one's heavy. So they're actually capping this one with honey. I'm being a klutz this morning. Wow, I'm gonna take this one out to show you. Got capped honey up there. And a lot of pollen. See that? And this is a better bee comb. And there's eggs all underneath. That is all eggs underneath there, and larvae in the middle. That's really good. Look at that, all capped brood. What's not capped, there's pollen in it, and that's what they feed their larvae, from what I understand. Look at this comb. What a mess do they have going on here. Jeepers, criminy. There's tunnels all over the place. Larvae, eggs I'm seeing, capped brood. Alright, that's good. This one's not gonna swarm. Okay, so this one, now you remember when I got it, that guy liked to run 9 frames. So them frames are just huge. I'm struggling to get that. I'm struggling to get that 10th frame in, so I bought this. So being that wacky comb is in there, until I can do a split and get new comb frames in there, I'm gonna run 9 frame in this one for sure. Well, let's hope that this one goes a little better. I'm hoping the lighting's good, because I have to face you that way now into the sun a little bit, but you'll be tipped down. Now remember, this was the hive that had the swarm cup. So let's see how they did. Okay, so they are all taking syrup, a half a gallon of syrup, into, they'll take it up to a day to 2 days, or a day and a half. Nothing on these. Okay, so this one they have drawn out. You can see right in the middle they have eggs in there. And then this way they have nectar. And then the other side they have nectar. But right in the middle, some eggs there. Actually, I'm going to flip this one around because the other side they don't have nothing on it. Okay, a lot of honey and eggs in this one. And some larvae. So just for some of you that don't know, when there's an egg in there, they lay it down. And after 3 days, it'll stand up. And when it stands up, then it goes into the larva stage. It looks like a grub. And then 6 days after that, it gets capped. 21 days total, and then you have a new bee. Wow, look at that. Okay, I'm hoping that comes through. See that down there? Look at all the eggs. So she came up top with that brood and started laying. She's laying way more than the other one because I brought it up, I'm pretty sure. So let's see. Okay, the other frames aren't drawn out, so push this back together and let's go down, see what's going on underneath. Some capped honey and some pollen, and then that side's got all nectar. Holy moly, look at that. That is all capped brood. And that's all capped brood, and what's not capped has larvae in it. This queen is busy. Look at that. What a queen. She's laying all the way down to the bottom. That is just crazy. All the way out to the side and only a little bit of honey. It's a good queen from what I read anyways. I'm still new. I'm still wet behind the ears, as they'd say. But from all the stuff I've been reading and the classes I've been taking, that's what you want to see. And just to think, this was the queen that I was worried about because she wasn't doing nothing when we got her for the first week and a half, or 2 weeks. What are you guys trying to hide down there? This is where the queen cup was. More larvae in this one and pollen. Okay, I can see on the other one there's nothing underneath, so all done with this hive. No. Come on, girls. Okay, so let's chat about that. What just happened? The Saskatraz, they're doing good. The reason why they're going through so much syrup so fast is they sealed off where I had the better comb. That's all sealed off. They did that faster than the other two hives. Crazy time, because it's only been 3 days. And they are just sealing that place up tight. The only thing I don't like is, well, there's two. The two things that I don't like is their aggression is strong. Like, I kept getting stung in the hands and they're trying to sting me through the veil. It could be because I was in the morning, but still, I was in the other two hives and I barely smoked them compared to the Saskatraz. So I'm not a key with that, and my reasoning is because I have kids. I do have a backup plan. If I did get an aggressive hive, I would move it to a different location. I do have spots for that. So that is okay. The other thing, I didn't see a lot of eggs. There was one frame that had eggs, and the eggs were off to the side, it looked like. So for those of you who don't do bees, if you have an egg that I was told anyways, you know, I'm still new to all this, so I'm just going off of what I was told and what I was read in class. When you have eggs and they're laying on the side, that is a worker bee because their butt isn't long enough. You know how the queen has a longer butt and the regular bee has a shorter butt? So they can't get their butts all the way down to lay in the center like a queen can. So that's how you know if you got a worker bee layer. So that kind of makes me nervous. It could have been the angle, so I want to double check it, and I'm going to go in back at noon. It's going to be a quick inspection. I'm not going to bring you guys. It's going to be hot, and I just want to get in and get out. I'm hoping that the foragers are gone at that time, so there's less bees, and maybe they won't be so aggressive. But they also, all three of them need sugar syrup again. I got asked in a comment that they're asking, when do you stop sugar syrup? Well, that's kind of like a rabbit hole that never ends, and everyone's got different opinions on it. But what I was told in 2 different classes that I did was you keep feeding and until they stop. Like, they'll stop when the nectar flow is high, they'll stop. So the clover just came on, I thought they would stop. But then on the other hand, I was also told that being I have all undrawn comb, that they're going to need abundance of nectar. And I was told, and don't quote this, but in class, our teacher said it can take 8 pounds of honey to make 1 frame of honeycomb. So, you know, if that's what it's going to take for me to keep pumping the syrup until they can build out their comb, that's fine. And the other thing is, some people are like, well, you can't do that because then you're contaminating your honey. But what the funny thing is people don't realize, I don't have my honey supers on. Like, I'm not collecting the honey for me. Those 2 boxes are for them. Like, I'm not taking them off. And I decided, I talked to, now I'll look it up and I'm going to put it down here because I feel terrible. But it's Ham Lake, maybe Apiary, but it's Ham Lake something. The guy's from Minnesota, I'm assuming Ham Lake. He doesn't have a channel or anything, but he subscribed and he's been doing bees for 5 years, he said in the comments in one of my videos. And so I talked to him and he said that he only runs 2 deeps. So I'm gonna go with the 2 deeps. I'm gonna try it, and what the heck? I'm a backyard beekeeper yet, so my goal though, so far doing this, and the passion that I can see that I have on it already, I'm gonna build this into a business. That's for sure. I'm definitely gonna go. We're gonna go all out. Not just me, my wife. She bought these books and all the different stuff we can do with honey and what honey can do, the wax and so forth. So that's really exciting. We've been reading a lot about that. So I'm definitely excited to go through those books and try that stuff out. But we are going to turn this into a business. I don't know if we're going to start another Etsy shop and put stuff in there, or if we're just going to sell locally. My goal is to build these 3 hives up, and I'm even contemplating on doing a split towards this fall on whichever one's doing the best, and taking some out. Well, I'll probably take some brood out of each. Well, I'll make a video on it, but I've been doing all the research and talking to someone else in one of my classes, so I'm trying to figure it all out. And, you know, a worst case scenario, they all die, which I pray that they don't, and I'd have to buy new ones next spring, but I don't think it will. The other thing is, if you're from Minnesota and beekeeping, what do you do in the winters? Like, do you wrap your hives? That's the other thing, controversy on, is some people wrap their hives in tar paper. Some people wrap their hives in, what's that, insulation, that thick, you know, insulation. And some people don't do anything. There's people that they're like, no, I don't wrap it. I put built right up top and that's it. Or they fill the frame, the one top frame, they put paper with sugar up there, so when moisture goes up, it leaks on the sugar, it makes candy for them. So that's one thing I have to decide yet what I want to do, but that's down the road. It's just spring yet, man. Calm down. Anyways, they're all doing really good. The other 2 hives, the Cornelias, I have to come up with a name, so if you guys have any names, you know, leave it in the comment and let me know. they're all doing really good. I can't believe how fast they're building. The two, especially the one hive that I thought was slow and I would have to requeen and it wasn't doing nothing, it just blew up, and I think that's going to be the most productive hive so far. Well, I shouldn't say that. The Saskatraz hive, what they're doing in this short amount of time, I don't know. We'll see. They have to start laying a lot of eggs though. They're not going to blow up. That the third hive that I went into, they have so much eggs, they're going to be blowing up here. And and you know, I'm still new. I'm still wet behind the ears, but looking at that one for how many eggs they have, and then for all the cat brood, I think that one is just going to explode. And I think that one I'll probably get some honey off it. So, and that would be really cool if I did this year, because I'm not expecting anything. I just want to build their two brood chambers up and go. And everyone that I've talked to, from Canada to all the way down to Florida, everyone's like, just keep feeding sugar syrup until they get their frames built out, and then checker frame. And that's the fastest build. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to checker frame every time I go in, so it switches them out and they build, and then you go from there. So I hope that you guys are learning stuff and you like this journey that I'm on. I asked please subscribe down below. By subscribing, it just alerts you when we have a new video that comes out. And if you like the video, hit a thumbs up, please. It really helps the channel. So, alright, well, glad you got to see me again.